Let's dive into the lives of 25 black celebrities whose rise and fall due to addiction shook fans and headlines alike. DMX, the voice that roared and broke. No conversation about addiction in hip-hop can ever be complete without DMX. He wasn't just another rapper, he was a force. That raspy bark, the emotional vulnerability in his verses, and the energy he brought on, it was unmatched. But all that brilliance came with a price. His first encounter with drugs came when a mentor, someone he trusted, tricked him into smoking a lace joint. That moment became the beginning of a long and painful struggle. Despite rehab attempts and periods of clarity, the damage built up. By April 2021, the world lost DMX to a heart attack brought on by a mix of substances. He was only 50. His legacy remains powerful, but so does the pain of how his life ended. Whitney Houston, the voice that heaven took back. She had the kind of voice that could silence a room. Whitney Houston was America's sweetheart, stunning, elegant, and enormously talented. But the weight of fame wore her down. Signs of her addiction began surfacing in the 90s, and fans watched as her voice, once flawless, began to crack under pressure. On February 11, 2012, she was found submerged in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. Cocaine use was listed as a contributing factor to her drowning. It was a moment that left the world breathless, not because of her voice this time, but because it was gone forever. Rick James, super freak to super tragedy. Rick James was larger than life. Funky, wild, and unapologetically himself, he ruled the airwaves in the late 70s and early 80s. But fame comes with temptations, and Rick fell hard. Drugs weren't just a weekend habit, they became his daily ritual. At his worst, he admitted to spending thousands of dollars every week on drugs. By 2004, his body gave out. An autopsy revealed 9 different substances in his system, though none directly caused his death. Still, it was clear, addiction had worn him down. Marvin Gaye, the voice of a generation lost to fear. Marvin Gaye's voice spoke to hearts. What's Going On wasn't just a song, it was a call to consciousness. But behind that voice was a man drowning in fear, paranoia, and addiction. Introduced to cocaine in the early 60s, his use escalated over time. Toward the end, his fear was so intense that he wore a bulletproof vest, even at home. In 1984, after a heated argument, his father took his life. Cocaine was found in his system. The tragedy didn't start that day. It started years before, with addiction tightening its grip. Michael K. Williams' art imitated life, then life took over. Most know him as Omar from The Wire, but Michael K. Williams was more than a character. He brought rawness and soul to every role. Sadly, his connection to drug-addicted characters wasn't just on screen. He battled addiction privately, trying to fight it even as he climbed in his career. In 2021, he was found dead in his Brooklyn apartment. The cause? A combination of heroin, fentanyl, and other drugs. It hit hard, especially since he had just started talking publicly about seeking help. Richard Pryor, laughing through the pain. He made people laugh till they cried, but behind those jokes was a man in pain. Richard Pryor's addiction journey was long and public. Cocaine, alcohol, you name it. His behavior became increasingly erratic. Even his wife couldn't stay. She walked out when the drugs took over their home. In 1977, he had his first heart attack, followed by more health issues until his death in 2005. His comedy was genius, but it masked a lifetime of struggle. Lil' Kim, Queen Bee's hidden battle. She broke barriers in hip-hop. Lil' Kim wasn't just an artist, she was a movement. But her story is also one of deep vulnerability. Leaving home at 14, she entered a world that introduced her to drugs early. The relationship with Notorious B.I.G. brought more fame and more trauma. After his death, her drug use worsened. Legal troubles and addiction followed. She's still pushing forward, but her journey has been far from glamorous. Lamar Odom, from NBA greatness to life support, 2 NBA championships, the 6th man of the year, Lamar Odom was on top, then everything fell apart. His drug use spiraled during his marriage to Khloe Kardashian. In 2015, he was found unconscious in a Nevada brothel after overdosing. 12 strokes, multiple heart attacks, and kidney failure followed. He survived, but he was never the same. His story is one of survival, but also a warning. Nate Dogg, the hookmaster silenced, his voice defined an era. Nate Dogg wasn't just a feature, he was the soul of West Coast rap hooks. But his life was plagued by addiction. After suffering a stroke in 2007, he tried to recover, but continued substance abuse didn't help. Another stroke came in 2008, In 2011, he passed away due to complications. He was only 41. His voice still echoes, but the man behind it is gone. Pimp C, a Dirty South legend cut short. As one half of UGK, Pimp C helped shape Southern hip-hop, but behind the success was a struggle with addiction. He leaned heavily on codeine, a key ingredient in the infamous lean. In 2007, he was found dead in a hotel room. Sleep apnea and syrup did him in. He was just 33. His music lives on, but his life ended far too early. T.I., from prescription pain to public healing. T.I. built an empire. Rapper, actor, businessman, he wore many hats. But he also battled addiction. After a dental procedure, he became hooked on prescription painkillers. It spiraled. After serving time, he sought recovery. Now he speaks out about rehab and supports reform in the justice system. He's proof that people can change if they get help in time. Meek Mill from pills to purpose. Fame came fast for Meek Mill, but so did pain. After dental surgery, he got hooked on strong opioids. Probation rules made seeking help even harder. Over time, he began to open up about the struggle. He eventually found recovery and became an advocate for justice reform and mental health. His journey is ongoing, but it's also inspiring. Jonathan Majors, legal woes, and substance struggles. Known for powerful roles in Marvel and Lovecraft Country, Jonathan Majors' fall was dramatic. A domestic violence conviction in 2023 exposed deeper issues, including rumors of substance misuse. Industry insiders cited alcohol abuse as a factor in his erratic behavior. Though not confirmed by Majors himself, the speculation is heavy, and his career is now in limbo. Danny Lay, from the stage to DUI headlines. A rising R&B star with undeniable talent, Danny Lee shocked fans in 2023 with a DUI arrest in Miami. She crashed into a moped rider while intoxicated. Toxicology reports confirmed high levels of alcohol. Since the incident, she's kept a low profile, and rumors suggest she entered a rehabilitation program shortly after. Blueface music, chaos, and crashes. His music took off with Thotiana, but his real-life antics became more notorious than his tracks. Blueface has been arrested several times, and reports from 2024 linked many of these incidents to substance-fueled behavior. Whether it's weed, alcohol, or other substances, his erratic actions suggest deeper issues. Christian Rock, pain behind the camera, reality TV fame, viral moments, and tabloid drama. Christian Rock became known as much for her turbulent relationship with Blueface as for her music. In 2023, she faced backlash for appearing intoxicated while pregnant. Concerns grew about her drug and alcohol use. Eventually got involved, and she's since tried to rebuild her life under public scrutiny. Kid Cudi relapses and recoveries. He's been open about his mental health and drug use for years, but in 2024, fans noticed worrying signs again. After a short relapse, Kid Cudi re-entered treatment. His transparency has made him a powerful voice in discussions around addiction and mental health, especially for young black men. Orlando Brown, another breakdown, another rehab. Former Disney star Orlando Brown's downfall has been painful to watch. From bizarre interviews to arrests, drug use has been a constant thread. In 2024, he was involuntarily committed after another domestic violence charge. Meth and alcohol were cited. He's reportedly back in rehab trying again. Azealia Banks, outbursts and admission. Azealia Banks is known for controversy, but underneath the chaos is a woman struggling. In 2025, she admitted to self-medicating with drugs and alcohol, especially during periods of public backlash. Her emotional honesty has surprised many. She's now trying to focus on healing and music again. Chief Keef leaning toward trouble. A pioneer of drill music, Chief Keef's name has long been associated with lean. In 2024, he was hospitalized after a health scare tied to syrup. Since then, he's tried to clean up his act, even posting cryptic messages about leaving drugs behind. Fans are hoping he sticks to it. Tinashe, quiet struggles behind the spotlight. Known for her smooth dance moves and sultry vocals, Tinashe shocked fans in 2024 by sharing her past dependence on benzos and alcohol. She described it as a silent battle. Now sober, she's become more focused and present, and she's encouraging others to speak up too. Ty Dolla $ign, a wake-up call. In late 2024, Ty Dolla $ign had a near-death experience from mixing prescription drugs with alcohol. After being revived, he entered a recovery program. He's since become more reflective in interviews, using his platform to encourage safer choices in the industry. Since then, Ty Dolla $ign has been vocal about the pressures artists face and the dangerous coping mechanisms that often follow. He's even hinted at launching a foundation aimed at supporting musicians battling addiction. Friends say he's more present, focused, and committed to turning his pain into purpose. Brent Faiyaz shadows behind the cool. Brent's music oozes confidence and style, but 2025 interviews revealed a more serious side. After partying took a toll on his health, he admitted to scaling back from drugs and drinking. He's choosing longevity over chaos, and fans are relieved to see that growth. Behind the scenes, Brent has started working with wellness coaches and mental health professionals to stay grounded. He's also taken a break from touring to focus on creating more intentional music. Those close to him say this new chapter is his most honest and focused yet. Polo G, from codeine to court. Polo G's rise in rap was meteoric. But in 2023, his arrest made headlines after police found drugs and weapons. He later checked into rehab, confirming an addiction to codeine and painkillers. His mom, also his manager, confirmed the news. He's now working to rebuild his image and his health. Polo G's legal troubles weren't just a wake-up call for him. They sparked concern across the entire hip-hop community. Fellow artists and fans voiced their support, urging him to stay strong and prioritize his well-being. In recent interviews, he's talked about how fame at a young age made it hard to cope without turning to substances. Rehab, he admitted, was one of the hardest but most necessary decisions of his life. Now he's focusing more on personal growth, staying out of the spotlight, and surrounding himself with a healthier circle. If this video hit hard or made you think differently about the lives behind the fame, drop a comment and share your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more eye-opening stories like this.